Boom. And just like that, he was live. Good evening, everybody. Good evening to those joining. Thank you for being part of this one. Just to let you know, folks, that yes, I have returned to YouTube. I used to do these Monday night lives all the time. And then because of the bad behavior of me, because I kept annoying YouTube by talking about the truth and hateful stuff like that. So I've learned my lesson, YouTube. I've learned my lesson. Suffice to say that we will use YouTube judiciously. Judiciously is how we are going to use it. So we need to get warmed up to stuff here. So evening, Chris. Evening, Darren. Evening, Melanie. Hi, some of my favorite folks already on the stream. Thanks for being here. So that's what we're going to do. But Mike says, we're going to have a good laugh tonight, by the way. Something must be wrong with YouTube. They alerted me to DV stream. Never happened before. When are you back in Richie Allen? Hey, Mike, ask Richie Allen. Richie's a great guy. Always happy to support Richie on his excellent program and his excellent work that he does, by the way. So I think we're streaming now on Facebook. We're streaming on Odyssey. We're streaming on BrandNewTube. I are streaming everywhere, apart from obviously hateful platforms like Twitter, where certainly I'm not allowed in Twitter. So we're streaming everywhere but Twitter, by the way. And can I just say to start, we got so much to talk through. And what we're going to do is, we're going to talk about lots of things. I hope you've got your Pure Blood badge. You can see the boop, 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 boop. See the stuff here. Yeah. If you want a Pure Blood, I know lots of you have got them actually. Wear them with pride. As you can see, I'm wearing mine with pride. Hopefully you can see them. If we see if I can move. There we go. You can see. There you go. 24 karat, 100%. Pure blood. Oh my God. Is he a Nazi? No, he just doesn't take the you know what. Now, because we're on YouTube, what I'm going to do is, folks, we're going to chat for about 30 minutes or so on. We've got loads of content to talk about, right? We're going to talk about Boris. Is Boris having a mental breakdown? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about school kids. Should we criticize woke school kids? We're going to chat about China, hypersonic missiles, hitching a ride on top of hypersonic missiles. We're going to chat about that. And then when we've done all that, we're going to go off YouTube. And that's when you need to follow me onto BrandNewTube or Odyssey or wherever else we are. Because then we're going to talk about COVID. We're not going to talk about it here because we simply can't talk about it other than in the most meaningless way. So I'm not going to waste my time in that. We're going to talk about other stuff. But as we say on stream, if I can see some of you guys have got your Chris Davies. He's got his Pure Blood. Actually, folks, you know what's interesting? We're actually getting interest in these from I'm led to believe from as far away as Australia. Who knew? Well, actually, yeah. But when we get to the bit that's off YouTube, I'm going to talk to you about Australia because there's some very disturbing stuff there. Hi, Jason. Hi, Flu Klux Klan. Hello, Miss L. Good to see you all on the way. Hey, what do you mean Peter has shown me the way? I've shown Peter at Hearts of Oak. I've showed that young man everything he knows. Hopefully, we're just talking about this. Hopefully, Peter McElvenna from Hearts of Oak and myself will be able to record an actual face-to-face Hearts of Oak during the Christmas New Year period, if assuming that things work out. So we got so lots of interesting stuff. Now, if you like this, give it the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. I think that's what we have to do, isn't it? Jed, tell them what they need to do. Thumbs up and like and all the rest of it, because YouTube doesn't like people like me at all, which is it makes me sad and it hurts my feelings. Yeah. If you believe that, by the way, you will literally believe anything. Hi, Max, by the way. Hi, Lee. Good to see you guys all on that stream. All in the stream. As I said, I used to do these so often, and then just got out of the habit for different reasons. But now I'm back. I'm solo, folks. Nobody else apart from my talented producer Jed in the background, who is keeping things on track, even as I veer off madly. So, well, Jed definitely is doing his penance in this world for what undoubtedly he will get in the next world. You're right, Darren Stimson. Of course, I don't tick your boxes. Do you think I care? Yeah, Jason says, oh, did you see this one, by the way, guys? YouTube's getting rid of the dislike button soon. LOL. Yeah, that's actually one of my things that amuses me most about YouTube is that a couple of my haters, who hate it wherever I am, they just hate me. They're obsessives. These are sad, low testosterone, hormone blocking, quaffing individuals, low self-esteem. Feel sorry for them. But anyway, anytime I put a video out, they give it the thumbs down. That's brilliant. They think that makes a difference to me. Oh my God. So yeah, so there we go, folks. So look, we got a lot of stuff to go through. So if you want to just sit back in your chair, relax, and Jason O'Brien, they're beta. Some of us are alpha. Deal with it. Just deal with it. Right. We're going to talk about talking about alpha and beta. Boris Johnson. Where do we start with Boris Johnson, folks? It's so difficult. I mean, this is a guy who has flipped and flopped over a large part of his so-called his career, his journalistic career, never mind his political career. But I think he's becoming, I'm not sure if he's having some kind of mental breakdown. But if we can, I'm going to bring up the first story. Yeah, Darren, he's definitely that. At the CBI, so he gave a speech at the CBI conference that's being reported, and he's got horrendous publicity because, yes, Chris, this is what we're going to chat about. Here is Boris at the CBI, looking ever so shambolic as ever. But yeah, this is the thing. So first off, he was criticised after he lost his place in a speech to business leaders and referred to the children's cartoon Peppa Pig. He also then went on, this is just, friends, this is off radar, right? He quoted Lenin, not John. He isn't to add. But Carl, and performed an impression of a car. Alert, klaxon alert. Is there a psychiatrist in the house for Mr. Johnson? Because I think Mr. Johnson possibly needs his services. So apparently he halted the speech for an awkward 21 seconds of apologies. Yeah, very sorry. And even like Rachel Reeves, Labour. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing but contempt for Labour, but she's probably right when she calls this speech shambolic. She says no one was laughing because the joke's not funny anymore. Good reference to the Smiths there, by the way. Any Morrissey fans watching? But here, this is the interesting bit. This next sentence. Look, a senior Downing Street source told the BBC, business was really looking for leadership today, and it was shambolic. They added there was a lot of concern inside the building about Mr. Johnson. Now, this is Downing Street. Now, according to the BBC, a Downing Street source, might not have been, but so apparently within Downing Street, they are saying there's a level of concern about Boris. So then, if we go a bit deeper into the article, the bit that this is just so grim. Honestly, if any of you folks are conservatives watching this, I'm sure you're not. You're more sensible. How can we even start? Where do you start? Chris Davies, I just don't know where to begin, because he said that he talks about the green industrial revolution, and after saying government cannot fix everything and that the true driver of growth is not the government but the energy and dynamism and originality of the private sector, he went on to talk about Peppa Pig World. He really did. He asked the audience for a show of hands of who has been to the Hampshire attraction, and after saying not enough, can I ask anyone on the stream, has anyone been to Peppa Pig World? If you have, put your hand up. No. What? Well, if you haven't been to Peppa Pig World, you haven't lived. Oh, by the way, just to say, if you want to send a super chat, if you're enjoying this madness, then if you that would be deeply appreciated. It helps the keeping the show on the road. But yeah, so no one's been to Peppa Pig World. What sort of people are you? So let's go down a bit then. So what else did Boris say? Boris said, well, he was a bit hazy. Oh, I bet you he was a bit hazy. I think he's hazy probably 23 hours out of 24 about what I would find at Peppa Pig World. But I loved it. Peppa Pig is very much my kind of place. Why is that, Boris? It's a fantasy. It's not real in that sense. It is very straight, safe streets, discipline in schools, a heavy emphasis on mass transit systems. I noticed even they are a bit stereotypical about Daddy Pig. Who's Daddy Pig? Does anyone know who Daddy Pig is? Please tell me who the hell's Daddy Pig? But he says that he starts to praise Peppa Pig World and the exporting of the Peppa Pig brand. And he goes on to, so he says, that's real genius. This is pure genius, don't you think? No government in the world, no Whitehall civil servant would conceivably have come up with Peppa. Yes, Melanie Bliss. Hey, Melanie Bliss, I'm going to have to agree with you in this. I prefer Percy Pigs. Percy Pigs, very popular in the Vance household, especially with younger relatives who come visiting. So let's go on a bit more. I think there's a bit more because he does get into there. Look at the cut of him, by the way. Look at that. The absolute state of this clown posturing. So he was on to talk about electric cars, and he says he did an impression of a car. Oh my God, folks! Electric vehicles may not burble like sucking doves, and they may not have vroom vroom rah rah that you like. But, and then this is where he tells us, they've got so much torque that they move off the lights faster than a Ferrari. I don't think so, Boris. I don't think that they do. The 0 to 60 on an electric versus a high-powered petrol, I don't think it's going to beat it. We do have experts in the car technology here, so I don't believe him for 1 second. He then went on to compare himself to Moses. Moses, yeah. As he came down from Mount Sinai and told his officials about the new 10 commandments, pledges including investment in wind power and hydrogen technology. So he's moved from Percy Pig to Moses. And this is a cracker. Here it is, folks. He quotes Lenin. He quotes not John Lennon. He said, Lenin once said that the communist revolution was Soviet power plus the electrification of the whole country. Well, I hesitate to quote Lenin before the Confederation of British Industry, but the coming industrial revolution is green power plus the electrification of the whole country. This guy's insane. He's insane. Please, why was he not stopped? And then this was another cracker. He reckons that there are reasons why Mother Nature does not like working from home. And then he lost his speech. But essentially what he was saying is, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Young people want to go back to work so they can have affairs in the office. Oh gosh, Boris, I think you're projecting again when it comes to affairs, because we know what your serial lack of fidelity and where that has led. Don't we? I don't mean to be a moral prig, but just pointing it out. I don't think this about, oh, don't worry about it. All the youngsters want to go back to the office so they can shag other people. This is the Prime Minister was suggesting this. Oh, and people say, oh, but he's very erudite. He's very erudite. Classic. He studied the classics. He's a genius of the classics. He's a classical clown. That's what he is. So mega embarrassing. Boris Johnson, a mega embarrassment to the United Kingdom. And there he is, in all his shambolic glory. A speech quoting Lenin, a speech talking about, yeah, this is good. This is excellent. Before going back to Downing Street, the Prime Minister gave an interview to a reporter who simply asked, is everything okay? Hey, Boris, are you okay? What's good? Boris, is there something wrong? Have you got a problem, Boris? Boris said he thought people had got the vast majority of the points. Yeah, and he thought that the speech went down well. Like a bucket of sick, that's how it went down well. So there you have it, folks. That's Boris Johnson having what seems to me a mayor at the CBI, an absolute mayor at the CBI. And he yeah, and this is the man who sees himself as Churchill. He actually is closer to, you remember the dog Churchill in the insurance ads? That's the only Churchill he has any resemblance to. So yeah, cheers everybody. A midlife crisis, indeed, Darren says. Darren, you are absolutely right. That's the sort of situation we have with this this character. Definitely midlife crisis, but frankly, just an embarrassment. You know, sick of him, and so many reasons that we can't talk about whilst we're still on these on the YouTubes and the Facebooks. Once we move off them, we will be able to talk about them. So remember, pure blood badges. If you ain't got one, get one. Get two, actually, even better. So what are we going to move on to now? Yeah. So, okay. So I have sort of with Boris. Let's turn our minds to youngsters, young people. Well, headmistresses as well, actually. So let's bring up, this story caught my eye. I wonder, did you see it? Here is this lady who says, she says, dismiss children as woke and they'll give up on their dreams. Oh, their dreams are going to be crushed if you dare to call them woke. And you reference snowflakes or cancel culture. But hey, listen, if by calling them snowflakes, you give them a break, you destroy their dreams, they need to wake up. They absolutely need, to show a bit of backbone. So anyway, Samantha Price, head of the, what's this, Benedict School in Kent, which charges 40 grand a year, by the way. 40 grand a year. Who would pay that for to have this kind of drivel sent at them? Suggested that all schools should host talks with parents on inclusion, diversity, and gender to help them understand the new language of the younger generation. And then the next sentence, I love the next sentence. Mrs. Price, president of the Girls' Schools Association. Wow. Wow, oh my God. Did I just say that? Did she call herself that? Girls' School Association. That's so non-diverse. That is, sorry, that's going to hurt a lot of people who may not identify as a girl or a boy. And she's being, this is divisiveness, Mrs. Price. Surely the first thing you need to do if you're going to follow your own narrative is to change the name of that. Change the name of that to the, I don't know, not Girls' School, just the Schools Association. Drop the girls. Stop being so hurtful to the other people. And yes, that's it. Woke alert, woke alert. Well, actually, we should have this woke alert on all the time. So she's calling on school leaders to challenge anyone who dismisses the younger generation as woke and cancel culture or snowflakes. Heads up, Mrs. Price. I call the younger generation, or not all of them, but many of them, exactly that. These kids are going through these little, hi, John Gleason, by the way, good to see you on the stream, and Max as well, thanks for being here. Iber joins the stream as well. Hi, David, how's it going? It's going well, Iber. You missed us having a good laugh at Boris Johnson. So now we're going to have a good laugh at these woke head mistress. You see, the thing is, kids are going through an indoctrination process, in my opinion, in certainly in secondary school and most definitely at university. And they end up being fundamentally turned into, yes, little snowflakes, little woke flakes. I heard someone call them woke flakes. That's probably quite good as well. Good terminology. So there is a problem here. And what she's wanting us to do is say, no, there's no problem. No, this is super duper fine. Let's just run with these people. You're so worried about it. As she says here, we won't see the level of progress in society from sustainability through to equality that I think we have the opportunity to be able to see. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see any of that. It's not progress. It's regression. It's regression. Well, actually, hey, Melanie says, my friend Melanie says, thank goodness I'm not a grandparent. I am, Melanie. I am a grandparent. And it horrifies me when I hear this stuff. I see Darren Stimson is identifying as a Tyrannosaurus Rex, by the way. Thanks for that, Darren. Just watch out for those asteroids in case they get you. So I think we should call out teenagers for being woke. And that's the nature of it. I mean, the nature of when you're a teenager, well, I'm certainly going back to my day anyway. People, it was all about rebelling against authority. That was the whole point of it. Now, what the the teenagers do, they're reinforcing authority. That's the problem. That's the serious problem. And in doing so, they. Hi, Donny girl. By the way, a big welcome to my dear Hawaiian friend who identifies as trans-vaxxed. Shush, Donny girl. If you say stuff like that here on YouTube, you could get us all in huge trouble. But don't worry, we're going to be turning YouTube off very shortly, at which point you guys are going to have to all jump over and follow me on BrandNewTube or Odyssey, where the fun continues, but uncensored. So she basically, she says it would be unforgivable for the older generation to close its minds to new ideas, to retreat to the good old days, and dismiss the energetic changes of this generation as something to be referred to in derogatory tones and size. Yeah, heads up, they are. They absolutely are things to be referred to in derogatory tones and size. And look at this, she says, pupils have been demanding action on an array of issues after a number of high-profile movements, including Black Lives Matter. Everyone's invited. I've got no idea what that's about. Can someone tell me what is that about? Everyone's invited. And climate change have gained momentum during the pandemic. Yeah, but let's rephrase those. Cultural Marxism and essentially global authoritarianism. But those have become real popular, have they? Right. So we should all accept that. Hang on a second. I just seen my friend Gene Wallace saying, David, you're on at the same time as Hearts of Oak. Time your audience, my friend. Well, Jane Wallace, yes, I'll have to have strong words with Hearts of Oak and tell them not to be matching my time. I've been here at 8 o'clock on a Monday night since the beginning of time, even before the internet. I was here. Jane identifies as super straight. So do I, Jane. So do I. We're all we know what we're all about. So so that was the lunacy coming from this. This is essentially an activist operating as a headmistress. And on a serious note, I seriously have great concerns about these individuals. They seriously they're a threat to the well-being of our children, because they don't want the children to have critical thinking. And so David and everyone who agrees with him have Hearts of Oak. Yes, Ian. Yes, we do. Yes, you do. Yeah, absolutely, we do. You do. So anyways, that was story number 2. The woke head mistress who doesn't want us to hurt the feeling of the kiddas. Well, I hate to say it to them, but I'm out to hurt their feelings if they can't grow up and have a degree of critical thinking. Right, next story. Okay, so the next story is, and again, I have to be so careful because we're still on YouTube for a little bit longer. China, and this is an interesting story. This is in the Independent, but China has developed a missile that was previously thought impossible. What? China? But aren't they committed to global peace and harmony and love? Really? They've developed a missile that was previously thought impossible. So, Chris asked the question, can I get this on the Podbean channel? I'm not sure what the answer to that is. My producer will let me know. Probably. I don't know. I don't understand these things. I don't know. You're here for the moment, Chris. Hang on in there. It's not going to last that much longer, the pain. So, yeah, they've got this missile. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, and yes, you can. There's the answer to your question, Chris Davies. This is going to be important. Look at this incredible technology. Look at that. Look at that image, folks, of what appears to be a Chinese missile of love and harmony and global harmony. But it was interesting. So get this. The first paragraph says it all. A hypersonic weapon test. Hypersonic. So the country fired a missile from another spacecraft that was flying at least 5 times the speed of sound, the report claims. Now, of course, you take everything you read with a pinch of salt, but such technology was previously thought impossible, and US experts are unsure how China was able to actually conduct the test. So apparently, I just read down a little bit. So it happened in July. So it happened always 4 or 5 months ago, and it was reported closer to the time. But apparently, experts have been pouring through the data to understand how the Chinese have been able to build the technology. So as I understand it, what they basically did, they sent the hypersonic glide missile into space, which it says here, and it had it mounted upon it another, essentially, a rocket. So this was a hypersonic vehicle with another hypersonic thing upon it. And this is kind of breakthrough stuff. Now I know the Chinese, hello YouTube, I know, hello YouTube censors, the Chinese were doing this for peaceful reasons, peacefully. And let's be honest about it. I mean, what's a hypersonic missile? What is a hypersonic missile against a 4-star trans admiral, which the US has got? So, I mean, Joe Biden, the esteemed Joe Biden, the renowned philosopher king Joe Biden, he has he's trumped the Chinese, because as you know, he appointed the US's first ever trans 4-star admiral. So take that, Xi Jinping. How dare you try to mess with Joe Biden and the gang? How dare you do that? So, but on a serious note, of course, yeah. Well, actually, here's a good point. Here is a good point. I'm going to bring it up here. If their missile is reliable as the last 10 things I bought that were made in China, I'm not going to lose any sleep. Well, I take that point. That's a very good point, actually. Yeah, we got to be. We got to take it all with a pinch of salt. But having said that, the Chinese do seem to be arming up. They do seem to be muscling up. They do seem to have an alpha approach to their country, which I have to say, fair enough. Fair enough. If that's, the priority of any country should be defend itself and protect its citizens. That's the number one priority. But of course, we're so enlightened in the West that we've realized that you don't have to do that. No, don't defend your borders. No, don't worry about that. Don't invest in your military. Well, only if it's in terms of diversity, inclusiveness, and fighting gender issues. Then we can talk about things. And so this is the huge embarrassment, and it is embarrassing, isn't it? So the Chinese mightn't all work as well as they say, but as we're highlighting on screen here, whilst Russia, and the US have worked on similar tech, this is the first time it appears that any country's done it, has got this point. So there you go, folks. I see this as a worrying development, regardless of the total accuracy of it. And China is certainly standing up for China. Don't know what we should. Is that a problem? I don't think so. We should be standing up for ourselves, though. Right then, folks. It is coming. The midnight hour is coming when we're now going to have to turn off. We're going to have to turn off YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, we're going to turn them off in a second. And so what you need to do, keep watching, follow us over on BrandNewTube or on Odyssey so we can continue to broadcast to you. But I want to talk about stuff that I just can't talk about on those platforms safely and honestly without being struck down in my prime. So because I don't want to be struck down in my prime, I need you folks to do the thing. Help me fight back against big Silicon tech tyranny. Help our side. And the way if BrandNewTube says offline, just refresh the page and press play. So these platforms are not as swish. They're not as swish as YouTube, or Facebook. They're not, but they're honest. They're honest. What matters most, honesty or swishness? I think we have to say, well, we like both, but honesty always takes the biscuit. So, folks, I want to say bye-bye to those who are still going to stick with YouTube. I am off, and I will be told in a minute when we have safely disconnected YouTube and